Hello and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. This is a positive space where you can explore messages from your soul and higher guidance. I love to bring these messages forward because they really help you see the direction that your soul would like you to go in a particular situation or just kind of at this point in your journey. This message is for whoever needs to hear it. I am not tying it at the moment to any astrological signs, but let's see what comes up. Okay, give us a message, please. Okay, red-crowned crane, gorilla, and raven. Very different kind of messages here. You know what's really interesting on these cards to me? We've got this beautiful yellow moon. We've got this light that's also equally yellow, and then it kind of comes out through this tunnel in the Raven card. So there is a connected flow through all three of these cards. We really need to make sure that we are communicating from a state of peace, of being at total peace with what's in front of us, what came behind us, and just where we are right now. I know personally on this path, the past month or so has really felt like fighting, just fighting where the journey is taking me, where things are going, why things are happening or not happening. And I feel like this message is saying it is a bigger message. It is a bigger test. Nope. It's a bigger depiction. It is a bigger proof of your strength if you can be at peace. It's hard to be at peace, quite frankly. It's very hard to be at peace with the way things are because they could always be better or faster or stronger or different or happening more the way I think it should be happening. But this message is saying to you, be at peace with the way it is. It is harder for you to be at peace at this time. And the harder path can often lead to better rewards. And I feel like that's what we're saying here. Okay. Now we've got the red-crowned crane, which says that you are being protected and held by a loyal force, a loyal guiding presence. You're not just floating. You're not just kind of freewheeling through this time, but you are actually being guided. And you're actually being pulled. There's also a feeling of change within the self that's happening. And it's something about uncovering what was already there, uncovering what has always been there, but maybe now it's coming out in a form that people can understand, that other people can really relate to. So you're not changing or turning into something else, but an aspect of you is starting to become more, I don't want to say palatable because it's not about being accepted, but it's just more easily understood. It's like you have a better handle on it. You're able to verbalize it more. Tell me more about that aspect, please. What's that aspect that Chariot, Hermit, and the Four of Swords. That's an interesting combination. Okay. I've almost got a conflicting thing here because these two cards are more inward and this card here is more external, more extroverted, moving. But what you're starting to realize is your own direction, your direction of, I want to say like a life path direction. You're starting to realize that there has always been part of you that knows exactly where it wants to go, but perhaps either you haven't believed in it, you haven't trusted it, or it just hasn't been clear because of other junk in the way. But now it's starting to become clear. It's almost like it's resurfacing from the inside and you're starting to understand, well, that's been within me all along and I really want to follow it. I'm asking what the path is relating to. Whoops, just had a whole bunch of cards fall on the floor. I guess those are not going to be in our reading today. Okay, fruit bat and the snake. Okay, the long-term implications of small actions, but the desire, the burning desire for creativity. Creativity doesn't just mean painting and drawing and doing cool things with videos. Creativity is the way that your heart wants to change and expand. What direction does your heart want to go next? That's kind of what creativity means in this card. And it's actually not creativity, it's creation. It's making something, building something. And it's building out of a heart-centered place rather than a head-centered place or an obligation-centered place, or which is really connected to the obligation place, a fear-based place. This is now, my heart is telling me I need to go a certain direction, and I'm going to follow that direction, even if I can only do it in the smallest way. Okay, that's our fruit bat here. Even if I can only do this in the smallest way, even if I can only find 5 minutes to do what my heart's desire is saying, I will find those 5 minutes. Because what the heart doesn't like, what the brain and the body and the soul don't like, are the lack of creation, the lack of something new. Okay? So part of the reason why we're feeling this fight and we're not able to stay at peace as long as we have been in the past, or yeah, I'm just going to stay with that thought, as long as we have been in the past, is because there's a part of our heart that is starting to open that is totally unfamiliar to us because we have been we have been disconnected. We've been disconnected from it. I was laughing because I couldn't say the word disconnected, like my words were disconnecting from my voice. That was just, sorry, that was funny to me. But we have been so disconnected from this part of our heart, which has never gone away. It's always been there. It's just that right now it's starting to wake up, like that Kundalini rising or the cobra waking up. It's starting to wake up and we're starting to become aware. So there's part of us that says, well, I've always known this part of me. I've always known it was there. But at the same time, it can feel very scary and also very foreign, because it's like, wait a second, I've never acted like this before. I've never desired this before. Who am I now? Okay? All right. What is the root? What is the... Oh, no, I'm being told to ask a different question. I'm going to get a companion card for our Raven card. See if we can get that to talk to us a little bit more. Okay. Tarantula, connection, and fear, hyena. Okay. I am not crazy about showing you the tarantula card just because I know that some people might find it a little scary. So please look away if you are not okay with spiders. Okay, now these cards are actually not a bad thing. They are talking about the connections between us and the other side, us and each other. So it's like more is working in your favor than what you realize, okay? And with the hyena card, this one here, you're being asked to face your fears. And all of us have been conditioned in a way to be afraid of when our heart speaks, when our heart starts to say something. Our head tells us that's not a good thing because we might lose control, we might make the wrong decision, or we'll end up in a place that's not safe or something like that. And the truth of the matter is, when we really face down that fear and then we really understand the nature of the heart, on the biological level, the heart is responsible for us living at all, right? We cannot live without our heart. It's our heartbeat that keeps us vital, that keeps us alive. And so when we get impulses from the heart, our first instinct, because we live in such a head-dominated culture, is to shut down the heart and say that is a bad idea. But the truth of the matter is if that space in you, if that organ is saying, this is what I need to live, this is what we need to live, this is like oxygen, this desire is like blood for us, this desire is like everything vital that we need, why would we distrust that? It actually makes no sense, you know? So if you cut off a head, then the body's still living, but the brain is not, right? The brain needs the blood flow from the heart and the oxygen to survive. So it's the heart that powers everything. And why would we think that impulses coming from that area should be distrusted? That's why we're being asked to face our fears, because it's backwards. We ought to be afraid of what the head is telling us. We should not be afraid of what the heart is telling us, but we're so disconnected from that heart that we have a hard time really trusting it. Okay. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to draw a little one-card spread here for some advice on how to move that forward. But I'm also going to put this in the extended video on different techniques or more information from the tarot that will give us the key to really opening up and trusting what the heart is saying. Okay, but I don't just want to leave you hanging. Okay, hair, cycles. So one thing to remember is that the heart and your intuition work in a flow. They work in cycles. It's not going to be constant chatter all the time. Sometimes it's going to tell you wait. Sometimes it's going to tell you go. Sometimes it's going to tell you yes, this. And sometimes it's just going to be silent because it's either gathering energy, or it's observing, or it's learning, or it's not the right place or time for it. So trust that this is the scary thing, because it's kind of like if I let go of the head is there for us all the time, right? The head is always talking, it's always chattering, it's always got an opinion. It's never really off, except when we go to sleep, and sometimes not even then. But when you drop into the space of the heart, that asks you to go in a completely different space where the silences between directives are filled with trust, where the silences between the directives are filled with a sense that you are supported by your own heart, by the beneficial energies around you that want you to thrive. I mean, your soul, your higher guidance, and your higher self. So this is about relaxing and being open to a different heart space. Heart space and head space are completely different. Okay? Now we're going to go deeper into this in the extended. So if you'd like to follow me over there, link is in the description below, and I'll see you soon.